If I check my phone one more time and see an empty notification screen, I think I might actually throw it across the cafe.
Put the phone down, face down on the table. You have been staring at it for 20 minutes. Is everything okay with you and Chris?
I honestly do not know. We had a fight on Tuesday night and I have not heard a single word from him since. It has been 36 hours of complete radio silence.
36 hours? That is a long time to give someone the silent treatment. You look like you are about to jump out of your skin.
I feel sick. I cannot focus at work. I cannot sleep. I am just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Okay, let's back up. What happened on Tuesday? Was it a massive blow-up?
That is the crazy part. It started over nothing. We were talking about holiday plans. I said I wanted to spend Christmas Eve with my sister, and he got quiet. I pushed him on why he was being weird about it, and he just snapped. He said I never consider what he wants.
Okay, so it got heated. And then what happened?
I tried to argue back. I told him that was not fair, but his eyes just glazed over. It was like a steel door slammed shut behind his eyes. He stopped looking at me. He walked into the bedroom, put on his noise-canceling headphones, and shut the door.
And you have not spoken since then?
I tried yesterday morning. I knocked on the door and brought him coffee. He took the coffee, mumbled thanks without making eye contact, and went back to sleep. When I came home from work, he was in the living room watching TV. I said hello and he just stared at the screen. It's like I'm a ghost in my own house.
That sounds incredibly, incredibly painful. It is aggressive to be ignored like that in your own home.
It feels cruel. It feels way worse than if he had just yelled at me. When he yells, at least I know he's engaged. This silence just feels like pure contempt, like I'm not even worth the energy of a response. I feel so small, and I find myself wanting to apologize for things I didn't even do, just to get him to speak to me again.
That is exactly what the silence is designed to do. It is making you panic so you will do anything to restore the connection. You are currently dancing as fast as you can to fix a problem he created by shutting down.
But what if I pushed him too far? What if I am too demanding, like he said? I feel like if I do not fix this right now, he's going to leave. The silence feels like the beginning of the end. Listen to me. You wanting to see your sister is not a crime. His reaction to that conflict is way out of proportion to the issue. You are taking responsibility for his inability to communicate. I just hate the feeling of the cold shoulder. It makes me feel like a little kid again, waiting for my dad to stop being mad at me. It triggers something deep in me, and I start spiraling. It triggers your fear of abandonment. That's natural. We're wired for connection. When the person we love cuts that wire deliberately, it sends our nervous system into panic mode. You are not crazy for feeling like this. But we need to talk about what is actually happening when Chris goes quiet.
There is a name for what Chris is doing. Dr. John Gottman calls it stonewalling. It is one of the biggest predictors of divorce, actually. It is not just being quiet. It is an active refusal to engage.
Stonewalling. That sounds exactly right. He turns into a stone wall. But why does he do it? Is he just a sociopath who enjoys watching me suffer? Because honestly, that is what it feels like. It feels like punishment.
It definitely feels like punishment, and sometimes it can be manipulative. But often, especially with men, it is actually a physiological response called flooding.
Flooding? Like he is drowning?
Exactly. When you guys started arguing about the holidays, his heart rate likely shot up. His body went into fight or flight mode, but instead of fighting or fleeing, he froze. His brain literally shut down the capacity for language and empathy to protect himself from the stress.
But he looks so calm. That is the thing that drives me crazy. He's sitting there eating a sandwich or scrolling on his phone, looking completely relaxed while I'm hyperventilating in the corner. If he is so stressed, why does he look so indifferent?
That is the deception. Studies show that even when stonewallers look calm on the outside, their internal systems are haywire. He is overwhelmed.
He has pulled the plug on the connection because he doesn't know how to soothe himself while staying in the conversation.
So he's overwhelmed. Great. But what about me? I'm overwhelmed too, but I do not shut him out. I try to fix it. I have sent him probably 15 texts today. I apologized for bringing up the sister thing. I asked if he wanted takeout. I sent him a funny meme. I am dancing like a court jester, trying to get him to crack a smile.
And has he responded to any of them?
No, not one. And every unread text makes me feel more desperate and more pathetic. I hate myself for chasing him when he is treating me like dirt.
You have to stop the chase. Right now, you are in a classic demand-withdrawal loop. He withdrew to lower his anxiety, but his withdrawal spiked your anxiety. So you pursued him to lower your anxiety. But your pursuing spikes his anxiety even more, so he builds the wall higher.
It is a trap. The more I try to fix it, the worse I make it.
Precisely. By texting him 15 times, you are actually rewarding the stonewalling. You are teaching him that if he ignores you, he gets to hold all the power and you will do all the work to repair the relationship. You are doing the emotional labor for both of you.
That makes me feel sick. I am basically begging him to love me again. I am rewarding him for being emotionally abusive.
I wouldn't use the word abusive lightly, but prolonged silence is a form of emotional control. Whether he intends it or not, it is hurting you. And chasing him is not going to make him respect you. It just makes him feel safe behind his wall.
So I have to stop texting him. I have to just let the silence sit there. That sounds excruciating. I feel like if I stop chasing, he will just drift away forever.
He won't drift away. He is waiting for the storm to pass. But right now, your texts are the storm. You need to stop being the weather and start being the climate. You need to stabilize yourself first.
So I just go home and ignore him back. That feels petty. It feels like two wrongs trying to make a right.
Not ignore, you disengage. There is a huge difference. Ignoring is, I hear you, but I won't answer because I want to hurt you. Disengaging is, I see you are not ready to talk, so I am going to go take care of myself until you are. It sounds like a semantics game. It is an energy shift. Right now, you are leaning forward, poking him mentally. I want you to lean back. Imagine you're holding a rope in a tug of war. You have been pulling and pulling, trying to drag him back to you. I want you to drop the rope. If I drop the rope, he will fall down. Maybe, but the war will stop. When you stop pulling, he has nothing to resist against. Right now, his silence is a shield against your barrage of texts. If the barrage stops, he might actually lower the shield to see where you went. But I'm scared that if I look away, I will see that he isn't looking for me at all, that he's happy I'm gone. And if that is true, wouldn't you rather know it now? But I really doubt that is what is happening. He is likely just flooded. By giving him space, you are actually giving him the oxygen he needs to calm down. You are respecting his boundary, even if his boundary was set rudely. Okay, so practically speaking, what do I do tonight? Do I cook for him? Do I say hello? You be polite but distant. You are civil. If you cross paths in the kitchen, you say, hi. You do not ask, are you okay or are we good? You just say hi, and you go make your own tea. You do not cook for him unless that is your normal routine and you want to. But do not do acts of service to buy his affection.
That is going to be the longest night of my life, sitting on the couch pretending I am hyper aware of his every breath. It will be hard, but you have to self-soothe. This is the skill you are missing. You rely on him to regulate your emotions. He is mad, so you are panicked. He is happy, so you are calm. You need to learn how to be calm even when he is mad. That is your superpower. Self-soothing. That sounds like something you do for a teething baby. I'm a grown woman.
We are all babies when our attachment systems get triggered. Your inner child is screaming, Dad is leaving. You have to be the adult in the room for yourself. You have to tell that panic, I am okay. I am safe.
even if Chris is silent, I am still whole.
I guess I have been looking to him to validate that I am okay. If he is ignoring me, I feel like I'm disappearing.
Exactly. That is why dropping the rope is so powerful. It forces you to find your own center. Tonight, instead of staring at him watching TV, go take a bath, call your sister, read a book, do something that actually makes you feel good. Reclaim your evening.
So I basically live my life parallel to him until he wakes up?
Yes, but here's the crucial part. When he does wake up, and he will, you cannot just pretend nothing happened. That is what usually happens, right? He starts talking again, and you're so relieved you just jump back in and act normal.
Yeah, totally. I am usually so grateful the ice age is over that I just melt. I do not want to ruin the good mood by bringing up the bad mood.
And that is why you are in this cycle, because there is no accountability. He learns that he can freeze you out for 2 days, and as soon as he's ready, you'll be there waiting with open arms. You are rewarding the bad behavior.
So when he talks to me, what do I do? Do I ignore him then?
No. You respond politely, but you do not return to full intimacy immediately. You keep the boundary up. If he says, "Hey, what's for dinner?" you answer the question, but you do not engage in chit-chat. You show him that access to your inner world is a privilege, and he lost it temporarily.
That feels risky. I'm scared he'll just think I'm being a bitch and go silent again. He might.
Stonewallers hate being stonewalled, but you are not stonewalling. You are being contained. You are showing him that there is a cost to disconnecting from you. The cost is that he loses the warmth of you until he repairs the breach.
Okay, so I hold back the warmth. For how long?
Until there is a repair. Until you actually talk about what happened. You cannot just sweep 36 hours of silence under the rug. It's a lump in the rug, and eventually you will trip over it.
But how do I initiate that talk without triggering another shutdown? I feel like I'm walking through a minefield.
You wait for him to be fully online. When he's calm and engaging, maybe on Saturday morning, you say, "Hey, I'm really glad we're talking again, but we need to talk about what happened on Tuesday because the silence really hurt me."
And if he rolls his eyes?
Then you know he's not interested in a healthy relationship. But if he cares about you, he needs to know the impact of his behavior. He probably thinks he was just taking space. You need to tell him the way you took space felt like abandonment.
I am already rehearsing that conversation in my head, and my palms are sweating. I am terrified he will say I am being dramatic. It was just a day of quiet. Relax. I can hear his voice saying it.
Of course he will minimize it. Minimizing is a defense mechanism. It protects him from feeling guilty. If he admits he hurt you, he has to feel bad. So he pretends it wasn't a big deal. But you hold your reality. You say, it might not have been a big deal to you, but for me, it was painful. And I can't be in a relationship where conflict means I lose you for 2 days. That is a strong statement. I can't be in a relationship where... That sounds like an ultimatum. It is a boundary. An ultimatum is do this or I leave. A boundary is this is what I can tolerate. You are telling him the conditions under which you can feel safe. If he cannot meet those conditions, then yes, you have a bigger problem. But you are not threatening him, you are informing him. So I need to propose a new rule, like a protocol for when we fight. Exactly. You need a timeout protocol, because clearly he needs space when he is flooded. That is valid. But taking space without warning is abandonment. Taking space with communication is maturity. Okay, so what does the protocol look like? It is simple. When one of you feels flooded, heart racing, seeing red, wanting to shut down, you use a code word or a hand signal. You say, I am flooded. I need a break. But here's the key. You must state when you are coming back. So he can't just walk away indefinitely. No, he has to say, I need to take a walk. I will be back in 20 minutes.
or I need to cool off for an hour. By giving a time, he keeps the bridge open. Your brain doesn't panic because you know he is returning. He is not leaving you, he is leaving the conflict.
That would change everything. If I knew he was just taking an hour to reset, I wouldn't have sent those 15 texts. I would have just watched Netflix and waited.
Exactly. The anxiety comes from the unknown. So you ask him to agree to this. Next time we fight, if you need to shut down, just tell me, I need a break, and tell me when you'll check in. Can we agree to that?
It sounds so reasonable, but getting him to actually do it in the heat of the moment, it takes practice.
But you frame it as a benefit to him. Chris, I know I nag you when you get quiet. I hate doing that. If you give me a return time, I promise I will leave you completely alone during your break. No texts, no knocking. You get your peace, I get my reassurance.
That is a good selling point. He hates the nagging. If I tell him this protocol stops the nagging, he might actually go for it.
He will, because stonewallers usually want to avoid the pursuit. If you show him a way to get his space without the penalty of you chasing him, it's a win-win.
Okay, so the plan is, tonight, I drop the rope, I self-soothe, I let him come to me, and when we have repaired, I pitch the timeout protocol.
You got it. And remember, the timeout protocol only works if you actually leave him alone when he calls it. If he says, give me 20 minutes, and you follow him down the hall yelling, but wait, you break the deal.
I can do that. If I know he is coming back, I can wait. I just can't handle the infinite void. It is amazing how much lighter I feel just having a plan. An hour ago, I felt like a victim waiting for a verdict. Now I feel like I am actually an active participant in this relationship again.
That is because you moved out of the child position and into the adult position. The child waits to be chosen or forgiven. The adult sets the terms for engagement. You are teaching him how to treat you.
I guess I have been teaching him that he can ignore me and I will just work harder. I need to change the curriculum.
Exactly. And remember, this is not about winning. It is not about punishing him back. It is about safety. You are creating a structure where both of you can feel safe. He gets his space without guilt, and you get your connection without begging.
And if he cannot do it? If I present this protocol and he refuses to give me a return time, if he insists on just walking out whenever he wants?
Then you have a very hard truth to face. If he refuses to protect your sense of safety after you have clearly explained what you need, then he is prioritizing his comfort over your well-being, and you cannot build a healthy life with someone who does that.
That is scary to think about. But honestly, it is less scary than living the rest of my life walking on eggshells waiting for the next silence. I would rather know now.
Precisely. Clarity is always better than anxiety, even if the answer is no. At least you are free from the waiting game. But give him the benefit of the doubt first. Most people, when approached with a tool that lowers conflict, are relieved to use it.
I will. I am gonna go home, I'm gonna put my phone on airplane mode, and I'm going to take that bath. And tomorrow, when he's ready, we build the bridge.
I am proud of you. Dropping the rope is the hardest thing to do when you are scared, but it is the only thing that stops the tug of war.
Thanks for being my anchor. I think I would have texted him 20 more times if I hadn't come here.
That's what friends are for. Now get out of here. Go reclaim your evening.
I am gone. Bye.